Didn't happen in 49, 61, 63 or 69 when they reached the final. But the class of 2021 have delivered. Leicester City are FA Cup winners at last and are history makers at Wembley.
Hello, Matt Elliott here.
Hi, Alan Smith here.
Hey guys, Ian Hume here.
Hi everybody, Jerry Taggart here.
Be sure to watch
Chris and Leicester Till I Die TV
for all the latest Leicester City news and information.
You can also subscribe on YouTube and various social media channels
for the latest updates and news on Leicester City Football Club.
Come on, you foxes!
The Leicester Till I Die shop is now open.
For all your Leicester Till I Die merchandise,
Visit the Leicester Till I Die shop at our website.
They have blown their rivals away. They have blown us all away in truth. Premier League champions 2016. The amazing Leicester City.
Till I Die TV, your first choice for everything Leicester City. Tune in and join in now.
Right, Chris.
All right there, back. How the devil are we all? Welcome along. Europe is back. It is. You thought we'd got out of it? We're in the Conference League. It's dividing opinion, the old Conference League. You looking forward to being in it, or is it below us? Are we going to start sounding like Arsenal? I mean, I don't think we should be in it, but I don't think we should be in it because we failed in the Europa. And as you know me, I don't believe that the Champions League losers should fall down into Europa League and vice versa. But we're in it, so we're going to make the best of it. This is Leicester Till I Die TV. I've decided I need a name for you all. You know, like Terry Wogan used to have TOGS, Terry's Old Git Society. I need something like that to call you all when you're on. That's clean. All right, that's clean. It's Leicester Till I Die. You can find us on YouTube at Leicester Till I Die TV. Please give us a subscribe and smash the likes button. And if you are listening on catch up on podcast, Apple, iTunes, Google, Amazon, and Spotify Podcast Addict, we're all over the place. This is where we are.
watch us on YouTube.
Listen on your favourite podcast platform.
Or ask your smart speaker
To play the podcast Leicester Till I Die.
Subscribe, like, follow, and join in now.
Indeed. And thank you for joining us. I do feel, because of course it's a special week this week, and I do feel that we've not really marked it properly. So in true Simon Bates style, let me first of all, I think I need some background music for this. So let's bring that nice, cool, calm, relaxing background music in. Because of course it is February. It is the month of love. And it is, Valentine's Day was on Monday. And to be honest with you, I think my postman still got his bag back because he hasn't been able to get up the stairs to my flat to deliver any Valentine's cards to me. But I am alone on that, because I know a lot of you out there have found romance, have been swapping Valentine's cards, and having a month of love. And I thought to share that with you, I thought I would just share a little poem with you. And I hope that you like this. It's from the heart. Wherever the heart is. Anyway, it's from the heart. A couple from YouTube were courting. Though it may not have seemed very sporting, when they drove to the lake, his clothes off she'd take. Then she'd run away laughing and snorting. Yes, good evening. I'm Brad. Good evening, sir. How the devil are you?
That was funny, mate. I like that.
No names were mentioned. No names were mentioned.
Oh, dear. Oh.
Let me just turn off that music, because you can only put up with that for.
Yeah, I had thought of a wonderful abbreviation of name that you could call the supporters of this channel, but then you said it had to be clean. See if you can figure it out. I was going to call it Chris's Ultra Non-Talkive Supporters.
Yes, I thought you might come up with something like that. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
But I don't think we'll be able to say that on there as in its abbreviated form.
No, I don't think we can. We'll need it to be clean. I don't know why I'm asking you this, because the answer is yes. Have you had a good week, sir?
Yes, I have. I've had a very, very productive and very good week. It's been a good one for myself.
Good. That is brilliant to hear. Let's just oh god, he's here, and he actually posted his first comment an hour before we went live, and that's because obviously he's had to get ready to bed, get his gym jams on, do his teeth, so he wanted to get his comments in earlier. West Ham unofficial Jake. Good old Randers. Who loves a bit of the Conference League? Leicester City.
Well, still more than what West Ham have lifted. If we win
well, we will see who goes furthest in the. I shouldn't really say this with Leicester season, should I? But it is tomorrow night, 8:00. It's the home leg, and I think you and me, along with probably every other Leicester City fan, when this draw was made, we had to go Googling to find out where exactly Randers was. Now, you managed to find something. I believe you managed to bring home the bacon.
Well, yeah, I mean, I wouldn't go that far, but I managed to do a quick.
No, Denmark bacon. Denmark bacon.
Yeah, I just try to ride the jokes when they're like that, mate.
Talking of which, before we start, Doug has started to come onto my channel and drop a few bad jokes in, so I've just did this to his channel, so he was always going to come back. Why should you never marry a tennis player? Love is blind. Is that when you finished courting them?
I don't
tennis court?
I don't know. Maybe it's because when you argue with them, they make too much racket.
Oh, back at you there, Doug. Two back at you. He didn't like the fact that I said I hate to be sat in traffic because I always get run over. Anthony, good evening, sir. How the devil are you? We'll come on to scores later. And jokes aren't funny if you have to explain them, says Jake. Well, we do occasionally have a younger person in watching, and we're schooling these days.
Someone who was only born. I think this club is actually older than Jake, so he might not even understand
what we're talking about.
Yeah, he might not have a clue. Not have a clue.
I mean, he's that young, he can't even remember sort of the glory years. You had to explain to him who Bobby Moore was.
Bobby Moore. You have to explain to him who Bobby Zamora is.
I love it. Yes, there we go. Terry's joining in now. A no strings attached relationship. I tell you what, put your comments. But it's like, I mean, I've my motto for life is if you're being chased by a police dog, try not to go through a tunnel, then onto a little seesaw, and then jump through a hoop of fire. They're trained for that. I think... Yeah, Craig Dawson, exactly. We might just have a show where we just tell jokes all for the hour, you know. I mean, I've got a good joke for you. West Ham United. Hey, there we go. Hey. We could, of course, on the other hand, be playing Barcelona tomorrow night. I mean, I've got to go back because this is how I sort of ended when we stopped doing the European shows. I know Barcelona are struggling, but again, let's be honest with you, so are we. And I know it's hypothetical, but you'd probably have to say that we probably would struggle against the Barcelona side with the season we're having. So would you sooner though have faced Barcelona and just had the two legs and got knocked out and going, yeah, we played Barcelona, or should we we've got Randers and hopefully we stand a chance of beating them and we could go, further into Europe?
I mean, it's always hard to do a hypothetical. At the time, I was quite looking forward to the prospect of getting Barcelona because, this is the competition where you didn't expect to see them in it in the Europa League. It's sort of one of them once in a lifetime things you feel you're only going to get a very handful of times across your entire club's history to play these sides that aren't organised pre-season friendlies. And, it's always nice to go into a game thinking probably lose, but you never know. What happens if we win it? We become the favourites? We all dared to dream when we were level against Atletico, despite needing 2 goals. And you never know how far your journey's going to go based on how the season's going to go. I'm just hoping Randers aren't the Nottingham Forest of the competition because...
Or the hell, but all I can remember is how bad it was because I was working for them at the time. Blackburn Rovers, they qualified for the Champions League and they met some unknown from Norway in their group and they got beaten by them. And yeah, that was awful. That was awful. Like you say, another Wickham could be coming up here. And I suppose I have seen us play Barcelona. Like you say, it's a pre-season friendly. So I guess for me, it's not such a big thing, but
yeah.
I don't know what your thoughts on it, but I've always said that I hated it when, like Man United, they didn't qualify out the group in the Champions League a few seasons ago, dropped into the Europa League, got to the final, were a penalty kick away from possibly winning it. And I don't like that because they almost got, a prize for failure, if you like. So therefore, I can't like the fact that we've dropped down to the conference, but it is what it is. And if we do, I mean, Anthony said there, where did he say? He's got a bet with a mate that Leicester will reach the final. I mean, if we reach the final and we actually win the damn thing, A, we're in the Europa League, but B, that's the quiz question that's going to be there for years and years.
Yeah, it will be. Look, it's not the ideal way to do things. There's not really much you can do about it, but hopefully Leicester can prove to teams of supporters of certain clubs, Arsenal and Tottenham, who like to disrespect European competitions when they've never won the goddamn thing. You think it'd be them to appreciate, because I'd love to go on and win that competition now, be the first winners of it. And I would love Spurs and Arsenal to crash out and everything and sit there in sit there in 6th and 7th in the same competition as us next year because they didn't take the European Cup competition seriously. Plus, we, add trophies to it. Why not? I mean, it's almost like they're starved of trophies and really desperate to win something. You think they'd want to be in it, but, we move on.
It is. And it does kind of, I mean, Anthony, I know, is an Arsenal fan. And Anthony, I have got loads, and I've, believe it or not, I did my best to resist, but I've got 2 more coming this week. God's sake, Leicester City keep releasing these retro shirts that I've already got, but I just don't fit me anymore. I bought them years ago when they were like not retro, and now, of course, it shows off my moobs, shall I say. So I do have a lot of shirts. But Anthony, I mean, as an Arsenal fan, I mean, I know a lot of Arsenal fans were I say, oh, we don't want to be in it, last season. We don't want to, if you finish a place below, we're not going to get into it. And it's kind of, don't you want your team to do well? And it really doesn't look good when you're saying like, yeah, but Arsenal should be in the Premier League. Yeah, well, Arsenal aren't in the Premier League, but you aren't in Europe at all. So I just don't get it.
Yeah, again, it just baffles me. At the end of the day, it's good competition. Arsenal seemingly going through a transition period. They, I don't know why. Maybe it was the worst tactical ploy, strangest tactical ploy ever by Arteta, but he seems to get them as down to the bare bones as possible. So there obviously is some idea to rebuild them there. So surely having an extra competition for them to participate in and play in would have been good for the players they're trying to bring in and go up through. So,
yeah. And I've got to say this. Terry's just said, good evening, Terry. How are you, the missus and the pet dog? Here's a Google useless facts. Randers were managed twice by Colin Todd. Remember him? I do. Jake at West Ham is an official. Go and ask your dad. Okay. And I was going to say this, just to sidetrack totally, because I do know you like a good quiz question about how many offsides in a season, etc. But I was just watching before I came live, Statman Stubbs, Liverpool fan, he was doing a Norwich preview, and he always does, as you know, a quiz at the end. And I got caught in, it was me versus two Liverpool fans. Totally unfair, 2 against 1. But the question that he asked the Liverpool fans was, what's the name of the road behind one of the stands? And it's like, they looked at him and went, what the fuck? I thought I'll have to get that one for Brad sometime.
Oh, you could try it about the King Power, but I know the road that's behind the King Power Stadium.
But I'd have to go back to Filbert Street. But we've got Randers, as we say. It is what it is.
Yeah.
And we don't go yet, but when the show was finished, guys, if you want to get a little bit more information about where Randers are, because like I said, we all had to Google it, and a bit about their history. We've got a special editorial on our website, leicestertillidie.com/Randers-FC. So leicestertillidie.com/Randers-FC. And don't go on yet, because we're going to be giving you some facts here, but it is written by the gentleman that gave me the lowdown on Spartak Moscow. So it's a really, really good informative piece. So maybe we should have used that, Brad. I don't know, but it's there for.
Well, I don't know. I've got my trip down memory lane written here for everybody to give them a quick education on Randers FC myself. So we'll see how well it goes.
I mean, I went onto the UEFA site, and that's the most I could get for a match summary. Leicester hosed Randers in the first leg. Fofana and Evans ruled out. We knew that. Schmeichel, Vestergaard are playing the fellow Danes. Well, let's hope only one of those is in the starting lineup. And Randers have only won 1 out of 8 away in Europe. I mean, we're going to be disappointed if we don't win this, aren't we?
Yeah, very disappointed. You'd have to be disappointed. It's just not a game that. It's one of them where you could probably do a Real Madrid and have that shock defeat away at home, but you're expecting to absolutely floor them at home. You're expecting the impetus is on Leicester to have this tie done and dusted before they even get on the plane to Denmark. Let alone lose the tie completely. Yeah. You'd expect this game to be done with the greatest respect to Randers, because it should be, this is, it's probably ideal for Leicester that they're in a way able to have the game at home first, because, it gives the impetus to Leicester to then go out there and settle it. And I
mean, if we go, I don't think there's any away goals, I don't think count these days, but if we can go out though, which is probably good, because we know we're going to concede probably at least one. But we'd concede if we played San Marino in a friendly at the moment. But this, I'm looking at this and going, right, you told me sort of where Randers were, which I don't believe is very high in the UEFA rankings.
No, they're not. I believe they're actually now the lowest ranking side in the entire of the tournament. Yes. Although I could be wrong. I think the team that knocked Spurs out last year are the official lowest ranking side in the tournament, but these might be the ones that are left in it. I'm not sure if they're in it, but it was that team that knocked Spurs out last year.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we've got that team, and we know more than anybody. Newport, Nottingham Forest, Wycombe Wanderers. That it's be careful what you dream of. But it's a home leg first, so that is our chance to. And we play better at home in Europe, and we'll come on to some facts and figures later. But this is our chance to put the marker down. Maybe go 3 or 4 up, and almost put the tie to bed.
Yeah, that's exactly what Leicester and obviously us as fans will be hoping for. We'll be hoping to come away from that with like at least a 3-goal margin of victory, like a 3-0, 4-1, maybe even better. You got to look at what Man City have just gone and done yesterday. Yeah. They put the sword to Sporting.
That was a really good score, wasn't it? And it was away from home as well.
Yeah, and away from home, which is more critical, but. If you do that in the first leg, you're expected to go through. I mean, unless you're PSG playing Barcelona, we all remember that one when they were 4-0 after the first leg and threw it away. But you would assume that most teams, 95% of teams or more, would take a commanding lead like that into the second leg and win it comfortably. So Leicester need to do that going into tomorrow night's game.
Yeah, David. I mean, Anthony says here, Chris, if Leicester win this competition, they get 5 million for winning it, plus TV rights as well, which is 2.5 million, a total of 7.5 million, plus it's silverware too. Yeah, I mean, there is a lot, it is a European competition. I mean, you could knock, when we were down in League 3, I think we were in the Papa John's takeaway delivery trophy, whatever it was. I still wanted to win it, But Anthony, I did ask, I don't know whether we missed it at all. Like I say, a lot of Arsenal fans last season were saying you didn't want to finish too high up the league in case you ended up in the Europa Conference League like Spurs did. Now, I know you're not, Anthony, you're not one of those Arsenal fans that is delusional. You don't, you're not a Bamba as our Leicester fan. You don't have, he's got blue tinted spectacles on. You're more. To you, as a reasonable Arsenal fan, would you really turn down the chance to be? I mean, I know you're used to being in the Champions League, but come on, you're not just going to bounce straight back. You've got to give it a bit of time, and that is part of the journey back. So let's know what you think, Anthony. Terry says we're not doing this, Terry, probably because we don't know them, but he said he couldn't wait to say who their danger player is. I didn't ask Brad on purpose because I think, like I say,
I know I can answer it for Terry. It's whoever takes their corners.
Oh yes. Well done, Brad. Very quick. This is the latest form. UEFA, I don't think, had added it up correctly for Leicester because we have got a draw. What I think they may have done, like you said earlier, Brad, they hadn't played for a while because they've been out of their winter break. But they've only won 2 in 5, and maybe they've taken Leicester's results from then. But it's. I mean, let's just take a look at the league, for example, because they're not having the best of times in the league. There, they're sitting. Sorry, that was the group table last time. Sorry, I pressed the wrong buzzer. I haven't actually got the league table, but I think they're about 5th in it at the moment.
They are 5th. They had a good start and were actually sitting top of the league early in the season. And to be fair, it is the likes of Copenhagen and Medjugorje. I'm not pronouncing that again. Maybe they're after too.
So glad you said that, mate.
And Bromby that are ahead of them, along with I'm not pronouncing the team who's 4th because I tried to look it up. It's something foosball or something like that. But so they've got the 3 big giants of the Danish Super League ahead of them, along with someone else. So they're not all too bad. I mean, they're still in what is classed as their European section for the group, so they'll still be looking to do well in that. Like I said, in terms of the Danish Super League, they've got probably only one club ahead of them that they'd like to overtake, and then they've got the big 3 of that league, should we say. So yeah, they're not actually doing as bad as people think in regards to where they are in a division.
Yeah. Doug, you keep quiet and then you come in with a little bit of a, I can't even call them awful, the worse than awful. Who are the danger men for Randers? Doug,
Vestergaard, if he plays, he'd be their biggest danger to.
Yeah, indeed. And don't give up the day job, whatever you do, Doug. I mean, they finished second in their group, but again, they only won one game and they lost 4. And you're just looking at this on paper and. Like I say, we shouldn't have a problem. But I'm going to ask you now, Brendan Rodgers. We've just played West Ham on Sunday. We've got it's now Thursday, and we've got Randers, who maybe say haven't got played as much recently as we have, and then we've got Wolves on Sunday. What does I mean? This is an impossible answer, but if you were to get your crystal ball out. The channel would probably get shut down. But if you were to get your crystal ball out and look into it, what do you think Brendan's going to do team-wise? Does he go full strength? Does he play a couple of youngsters, which might not be a bad thing?
He might not have a choice, really. I've heard that Pereira won't be playing. I've heard apparently Thomas isn't available. I don't know if he's picked up an injury or it's not. It can't be a registration thing because he's under 23. So we might be very limited in what we can do. I could imagine one of, if not both, Maddison and Yuri are rested for it, and it'll probably see the likes of Chowdhury and Samore come in. Vardy's not fit, so I'd assume it's going to be Daka and Iniacho, or maybe he plays both of them. We don't know. So there's a few forced changes in there. I don't think Brendan will want to change it too much if he can help it, because obviously, again, the expectation on it, etc. So we'll see. I think he'll be forced into changes, and obviously one eye on a game on Sunday that's. I would say they're on equal par for importance. The expectation to beat Randers over a very good Wolves side is probably more expectant, but he'll want to get through the game first of all with the win and obviously with no issues. But he'll want to be able to get a squad that's able to recover, train, and be ready for Sunday's big game against Wolves at Molineux. Thankfully, obviously, Wolves. Being where they are in the world, it's not like they're going to have a grueling long journey to take to play Wolves on the Sunday. So we'll see though. We'll see.
I'm just trying to see if there's any news on the injuries. I can't see anything other than Justin that we know about. I can't see anything.
Thankfully, Justin sounds like he's only out for a couple of weeks.
A couple of weeks, it says. Yeah. That's what it says on the website. I mean, for me. We're not going to, I don't think, if we do qualify for Europe, it will be the Conference League, because I think that's where as good as we can probably do in the Premier League this season.
Yeah.
So I want him to take this seriously. And I'm trying to say this without sounding disrespectful to Randers, but put a strong team out and let's get the job done. Because we've got the return match next week. So we've got Wolves Sunday, then Randers away on the Thursday. I think we're lucky that we don't have a game the following week because
we don't have a game at the weekend. I looked ahead. We don't. Yeah. We don't have a game. So I mean, again, you could look at that and think Leicester make the changes they need to because of injuries. They go strong as possible for the Sunday, and then they look at the situation. If we've got a 3 or 4 more goal lead against them, I think you'd go in there safely thinking that you could rest a lot of them players and give the youngsters, because the youngsters have proven this season that they're more than capable of stepping up to it. You wouldn't feel like it was a Group 6 match against Porto like it was that time in the Champions League. You'd feel like they'd go out there and do well.
Let's put it this way: when you end a match with 6 under-23s on the pitch, and you've just beaten a fellow Premier League club 4-1 in the FA Cup, and then you've got all your first team that is as good a strong team as you can put out, and we go to a championship club and we lose 4-1.
Yeah.
You got to say the youngsters are actually better. In fact, the women are probably better than the men's team at the moment, because at least they seem to be putting up a fight and winning a few games.
Yeah, big shout out actually quickly to the women. They're flying high.
Yeah,
they changed their manager. They've won 4 games out of the last 6 or 7 in all competitions, and they're looking like staying up. So at least one team's giving us positive thoughts.
Exactly.
Alongside the under-23s.
I wonder if they cut their hair and maybe did a few other things, whether we'd get away with playing them.
Well, maybe, mate. Maybe. Natasha Flint wouldn't be a bad one to get up on the wings to help.
No, indeed. Excuse me. Richard, good evening, sir. How the devil are you? Going to watch we've got a quiz tonight at 9:00. I'll mention it while you're in, because you might make an appearance in that quiz, Richard. You'll have to see it. It's the Big Fat Football Quiz 2, which unfortunately our quizmaster here, Brad, got knocked out in the first round. But it is a totally irrelevant quiz. It is about football, but it's just mad. It's just silly. And I actually do a rerun through with Dan. You know, with I'm a Celebrity, when they rerun the trials before they go live. And I'm not being awful. We were sat there for an hour, absolutely crying with laughter. So hopefully it will be as funny tonight when it's live. Miss Melina, good evening. How are you? Your 2 favourite foxes, Chris and Brad. Glad to see you put Chris first.
Yeah.
I
it is, Chris. You pay the PayPal, mate. It works.
All I will say is that one of us is still available, Melina. And it doesn't really work out. A genius to work out which one that might be. Anthony says, if it means going into the Europa League and winning it to get money and to get into the Champions League, so be it. Yeah, but I would say the Conference League, Anthony, but, what is it the same for the Conference League? So I think we're both saying, put a strong team out there, go and get it done.
Yeah.
Do you think our strongest team is basically 4 at the back, or the 3/5, because obviously depending whether you're attacking or defending? Which of those 2 would you go for in this game?
I mean, to be honest with you, again, considering our injury list, I don't think... I mean, me personally, it's a 4 at the back, but it doesn't sound like that's even physically possible. So it's going to have to be a back 3 with attacking wing-backs. For me, I would not want us to go defensive. I think we heard from the crowd's reaction against West Ham when we started so defensive, but we may, unfortunately, with the way Rodgers likes to go about it, have to be prepared for that for the first 10, 15 minutes, because apart from what's on my board, I'm assuming that apart from maybe the odd videos here and there, Leicester themselves know nothing about this club, so they'll want to feel their way into the game in the first 10, 15 minutes. But after that, I expect us to be on the front foot.
I mean, I said this against West Ham. How will the crowd react if we go a goal down?
Oh, God, I can't even begin to think how they'd react, to be honest with you. I think that I mean, you might hear it a lot, but you're talking worst case scenarios for a game of that caliber. It's going a goal down. It's just unfathomable. They can't afford to do that. So let's hope for once in this goddamn season that the defense is switched on a bit for the first 15 minutes of the game, and we can then grow into the game, and then we can be more aggressive in our approach towards them.
I think we just need to let the players know that it is an 8:00 kickoff, not an 8:15 or 8:20 kickoff. Just so
maybe it might help them.
I mean, if we do go for, and I'm like you, I'm going to admit I prefer the 4. I do think we look more solid with the 4 at the back. If we haven't got enough players, do you bring Ndidi back? But then you're losing something in midfield. You need to do that the other way, mate. It's sticking up.
It's scaring me, I don't know why my hair just randomly decides it just wants to get involved in this stream. It's like it feels it's important.
Hey, just don't knock it, mate. Even if it's like you've got hair, all right? Some of us would love to have that problem. Let me just tell you. Or do you, and I just do not understand Roger's thinking on this one, do you put Chowdhury in defence? Because last time against Liverpool, he did really, really well, because obviously we won that game 1-0. And Rodgers praised him to the hilt, and he hasn't put his boots on after that.
again, maybe he has no choice. This is one of the most awkward games to kind of talk tactically about you with, because we don't see, it doesn't seem like with our injuries, and for whatever reasons they are. I didn't even know Thomas was injured, to be honest with you. I thought he was fine. Didn't know he was carrying a knock for the reason he's not been able to play. But he might have no choice to play both. It sounds like indeed he might have to play centre back or in a back three, at least in a line of back three by the sounds of things. So if he's going to keep that defensive midfielder that goes in between the midfield and the centre backs, it's going to be either Chowdhury, who has had more game time and more recent game time than Samore, although obviously Samore played in one of the last 2 games. I can't remember, it's one of them. It's so difficult to do because all of a sudden, we've scrimped and scraped and managed to put out a left and a right back somehow between us, and now all of a sudden we've got absolutely nobody available. So Rodgers might be forced into playing a team stronger than he wants to in the greatest respect to Randers because of who it is and what the state of our team is. So
JJ says here, do Randers even have a badge? They do.
They do have a badge.
It's the horse.
In fact, I'm excited to be. I'm almost excited to be asked what information I managed to dug up on them.
It's coming. Don't worry. I'm building up to it, mate. I'm building your part up. So yes,
that research more.
that is their badge. They are there. I mean, I'm not going to say good evening to Mike. I'm not going to say let's go through the team because it's impossible this season. So you don't know who. But I just, maybe Chowdhury has found his position, because sometimes you can be playing in a position for ages and the manager suddenly tries you somewhere else and suddenly it fits and it's Bert will wait and see. He's only done it the once, in fairness. Up front, I say I'm not going to go through all 11, but up front, are you starting Daka or are you starting Inacho?
Well, if he's going to play with one up front, it's going to be Daka. I think we figured that out from the way he's been picking in the season over Inacho. I would like to maybe see if it's going to be a 3 at the back, you assume it's going to be a 3-5 to 2, wouldn't it? God, my maths was bad then. Almost like we can't do these starting 11s when we've not got them in front of them. So
the guy who only put 10 players out. You're talking to the wrong person.
Well, yeah, true, mate. But still, I mean, your bad maths allowed me to do good maths. So yeah, you'd assume it's going to be a 3-5-2. So maybe we see both of them. I'd like to see more of any actual play. I really don't know what the poor lad's done to be ushered out of the side so much. I get it. Daka complements the way Vardy plays in the sense of he plays that style, so he's more dominant to get in there. Because the bigger question isn't can Ian actually score at this level, because he clearly can, but it's more of a can he? Sorry, my housemates have literally just got back.
That's all right.
It's more of a case of
hello, housemates.
It's more of a case of can they? I forgot what I was saying.
Well, Dorco's asking you why can't they play a 4-3-3?
Because it doesn't sound like we've got wing backs, mate. It sounds like Castagne's not fit. I'm going to move upstairs because that weather is horrendous.
That's okay. You do a nip.
It sounds like, mate, we haven't got anybody fit to do 4-3-3. I mean, Brighton, sure, can play, but we haven't got Thomas. We haven't got Pereira. Castagne's injured. So unless he's really going to, and
And he's gone. He's gone under a tunnel.
As much as I truly want to put pressure on Brunt,
we missed all of that, Brad. We missed that.
Did you? Sorry, I'm gonna have to, it's just because they're coming in, and to be honest with you, the weather's horrible, so I can't really make them try and sound. Can you hear me now?
We can hear you now, yes. But before you start, I just want to say, Anthony, you're a gentleman, sir. Thank you very much. That even means more coming from an Arsenal fan. That is really much appreciated. Thank you.
Yeah, sorry about that. But basically, it just doesn't sound like we have capable wing backs to do the job, and I can't imagine Brendan would want to put the pressure on on your youngsters to come in and step up just to make it in. He'd probably try and adjust that system to be more compact the midfield.
Yes, yeah. And Anthony, I tell you what, I think there's a few of our players that you wouldn't get £2 for, I tell you, but thank you very much. Much appreciated. So, Brad, your moment. You have been researching Randers, and like I said, I don't think there's just sort of any Leicester fan here that can say we know Randers. So, what have you learnt about Randers FC?
Right, so what I have learned about Randers FC is they were established as early as 2003. The 1st of January they were established, and they were actually this is quite coincidental, they were formed by 6 football sides in the 6th largest area of Denmark in 2003. Their first bit of silverware came only 3 years later in the 2nd division when they gained promotion. But also in doing so, they did the Leicester City, and they actually were the Danish Cup winners in 2006, as well as promotion to the division. They had a highest league finish of 2013, finishing 3rd in the Danish Super League. And they did a Leicester as well. This is how they got into the competition this year. They actually had a convincing cup final win 4-0 against Sonderversky. I hope I pronounced that right.
It's easy for you to say.
Yeah, I know, right? They beat them 4-0 comfortably in the final, which got them into Europa League playoffs. Unfortunately, they lost out to Galatasaray over the 2 legs before they dropped into the conference, which, obviously they had their results in for that length of time. They also... they haven't been able to, like Leicester City, defend their cup competition this year, but they got a bit further than us in getting knocked out at the quarter-final stage. And obviously, as you already pointed out, their qualifying rounds went with 1 win, 4 draws and 1 loss, finishing 2nd in their group. So they've been quite successful in their short, albeit short history. Like I said, since quite conveniently developed by 6 sides in the 6th largest area of Denmark. So quite a good, quick history they've got there for a club, to be honest with you. Nice to see some cup successes. So they're not going to be the easiest of club to take on, in all fairness, from the area of Denmark.
Oh, I think we should never take any. I think we've learned to our peril what happens if we take these teams for granted. Just to add a few more facts to that one, because, like I say, I did some myself. Who's messaging me like mad here? Somebody is. You had this problem early, didn't I? Oh, it's I should have said that, shouldn't I? Again, who's texting me like mad? And it's Jerry Taggart. Don't tell him I said that, because he's a big booker if he comes round. Sorry, Jerry.
I'm grassing you up for that.
He's sending me his predictions, and he's making a few of the comments that I've made. But here we go. Let's have a look. Moving on quickly. It'll be all right on the night. I'll edit that bit out. Don't worry. Leicester, who are unbeaten in 9 European home games, winning all 6 group encounters at the Leicester City Stadium with the concession of just 1 goal until that defeat by Slavia. And then we remember that defeat, don't we? Randers, and I apologise if I couple over you here. Winners of the Danish Cup for the first time in 15 years when they beat that team that you mentioned 4-0, as you said. And they are participating for the first time since 15-16. And the Jutland clubs, Jutland, you say, I'm getting in there. Mike says there's Jerry Taggart not coming on the channel. Indeed. The Jutland club's 21-22 European campaign starting the UEFA Europa League playoffs, where they were defeated by Galatasaray, which many teams
that
done
is
that.
very true.
Yeah, the result sent Thomas Thunberg's side into the Conference League. And finally, the Danish, let's see, this is good for us. The Danish club have won just 1 of their last 8 European away games. They've drawn 3, lost 4. 1-0 against St. Julia of Andorra. I'm sure you've heard of them, isn't it?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
In the 15-16 UEFA Europa League first qualifying round, first leg. So they've got a bit of catching up to do. I just, somebody said on, and what we'll probably sort of kind of end on this, because like I said, it is a team that we can't get, you know, more information or talk a lot more about. I mean, somebody said, you know, if Rodgers loses this and then doesn't get a result against Wolves, we could be saying goodbye.
I think you probably would say that's going to be the nail in the coffin. But then you would have to look at the players as well. With the greatest respect to Randers, you know, we've seen upsets in this, and we've had a laugh about upsets in this, with the likes of Arsenal losing to absolute nobody, Spurs getting dumped out last year by the lowest ranked side in that competition at the point when they lost to Lucas Moura on his own. So you've seen that managers don't always get the shock sack afterwards, but given our state of fortune at the moment, and given how difficult Leicester find it to go to Molineux, regardless of our state of the season, our treacherous time at Molineux has been quite miserable, especially in the Premier League. So you just feel that the owners would have no choice in the matter, despite, you know, how we sit here and discuss that the options are limited. You'd have to buy someone out of their contract. You'd have to pay Rodgers off. You know, sometimes you have to take the fall. Hopefully, we're not talking about that. Hopefully, it's a very comfortable win for us on tomorrow night, and hopefully, you know, we get a good result on the Sunday, so we can give the benefit of the doubt to allow Rodgers to balance this out, because, you know, it would spell a very much concerning spell for Leicester if them players go out on Thursday and go and get beat. It doesn't bode well for the squad as a bunch of players either. So
no,
yeah, let's hope we're not talking about a defeat tomorrow, or a draw for that matter. Sorry to any Randers fans that are watching, but I don't want to draw with your team either.
I don't think there'll be many, in fairness. No. I don't know if I'm that big in Denmark, but I'm not that big anywhere, let's be honest. But I mean, do you... for me, it has been such a season. I don't think there's any manager that could be with our club that we would likely have. I'm not saying like a Pep or a Klopp, because we know we wouldn't get them. But I don't think any other manager could have done a lot more with what's happened to the club this season than Rodgers has.
No, and to be fair, maybe in a way, because we've been so admirable as a club, as an individual, i.e. we've not allowed to become the Jurgen Klopp of football and say, oh, well, we lost that game because we had 4 injuries and la, 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 like other clubs have tried to use it as an excuse. We've tried in the best ability to get on with it, not use it as an excuse, basically step up and take the blame as a club, and the players that are available are saying, well, we should do better despite our situation. So I think maybe we've been a bit overcritical on Rodgers at times. Yes, I know tactically he's confused us and frustrated us with things he's done, but also at the same time, you know, it's one of them where you actually probably like the mentality that the club doesn't use it as a cop-out that we've had injuries, and they're taking the full responsibility themselves. So yeah, I think maybe you have to give an overall look at our season and give a bit of leeway, and that's maybe why when some people have suggested it, the owners have stuck by Rodgers, because they understand the situation in its entirety.
Yes, yeah, and I think you do. And they look at it in a different way to fans, because, you know, we don't look at it, well, we've got to pay a few million compensation because, you know, there are a lot of other things that we as fans obviously, you know, can't sort of put into the argument. Now, just I don't know whether any of you remember any of these at all here, Brad. It will be interesting, but 3 Danish players that we have had at the club, and that's before Vestergaard and Schmeichel, of course. So the first one was Tommy Christiansen, who I think was the picture that we possibly just saw. He became Leicester's first Danish recruit when he arrived in '85.
No, I would not remember him.
No, you were probably just a sparkle in your dad's eye at the time. Jacob Lawson. Jacob Lawson, yes. He came he'd have to wait 17 years after the previous player to see another Denmark player pull on a Leicester shirt. He's 50 now. He made over 100 appearances for Derby County. The majority of those come in the Premier League. I don't remember him, but apparently he was brought to the club by Mickey Adams in January 2002 for a reported £400, and it really made 10 appearances.
Scroll back up and look at that kit. I think you'll know why we didn't remember him. That's a horrible kit in that horrible season. So if anyone doesn't remember it, I understand why. But he is a name that I recognise and vaguely remember. Like kind of like Roberto Mancini, who made 4 appearances. He got so depressed at Leicester that he went into management. So,
I tell you what, Brad, I'll give you a point if you can name the other Leicester player in the background.
Oh, let me have a look at that. Is that Stephen Oakes?
Mm-hmm. I can see why you said that, but it's not.
Or is it? It's not Stephen Oakes. I'm trying to think. Is his name Matt something? He looks familiar.
Yes.
What's his name? Oh, it's not Matt Oakley, but he did play for us. But it's not him. It's Matt.
I'll give you a clue. I'll give you a clue here.
Yeah, I know he's Welsh.
That's just for the Welsh contingent. Hello, Mike.
I remember him playing for.
He's done a little bit for the channel as well. I'm going to tell you that we'll be here probably all night, and you'll probably go, "Oh," when I tell you, Matt Jones.
Soon said the last name. It was evading me. Yeah, but him and Stefan Oakley played. They played quite a bit. Yeah.
And then the last one, I don't know if you remember this guy, Jimmy Nielsen. In
the
goalkeeper shirt, yes.
Goalkeeper, yes.
Born in Aalborg, his youth career started off in England at Norwich, then Millwall.
Also, would you not say is Stefan Iversen, our current goalkeeper, not Danish as well?
I'm not sure.
He might. I think
this is up. But then again, as he actually, I don't know if he's played a first team game for us, but this guy couldn't have played many because we signed him in the summer of 2007, and he left in January 2008. So,
well, wasn't that under the era where we had about 6 or 7 managers in one season, and we had about 9 goalkeepers because we had injury crisis? I think we had like Carl Kelmy, Martin Fuller, and all sorts.
Chris Kirkland, we had. Remember Chris Kirkland? Yeah, we had him.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh my God. You got to remember Ron something Zieler.
Oh, Ron Robert Zieler, yeah.
Ron Robert Zieler, yes, he was.
Kevin Pressman and Ricardo, the goalkeeper.
Oh, Kevin Pressman. I'm a large person, but he could have filled that. He didn't have to move to stop the ball. He just stood in the goal.
Mate, I saw it earlier. I remember listening to it at the radio on my dad's house when I saw the contents of it. And it was when he was playing for us, Kevin Pressman, and he got lobbed against Pressman got lobbed against Preston by Andy Lonergan, I think it was. He was their goalkeeper at the time.
Yeah, Mike, we know Zieler is German. We're just talking about goalkeepers in general now. And of course, you can't. Oh, Scott, Chris. I grew up with Kirkland. He was 2 years above me. Great lad. I couldn't say whether he was good or, but I don't remember him. I think we got him from Liverpool at the end of his career, I think, didn't we?
It was either Liverpool or Wigan.
Right. Yeah, I think it was Liverpool that he came from. I could be wrong.
He was on loan, weren't he? He was on loan. I remember the infamous game against Ipswich that I said would have got called off if it wasn't for the fact that it was on Sky.
Yes. Yeah, that one. Oh, yeah, I still remember that. And of course, my favourite Leicester goalkeeper of all time. You might think it's Schmeichel. You might think it's Shilton. You might think I go far back as Gordon Banks, but no, my favourite Leicester goalkeeper of all time, the wonderful, wonderful Dracula hater. You know, I mean, Zelko Kalac. What a player! What a player! Dracula because he was scared of crosses.
Yeah, good old Spider.
Yes, yeah.
Scared of crosses. He's going well with this team at the moment, wouldn't he?
Yeah, yes. Oh God, can you imagine? Last question, and we're going to look forward, and you're going to join me post-match when hopefully we're going to be sat here with big smiles on our face. But before we just say what's coming up later, Anthony asked earlier, it was a very good question when we were talking managers. Would you and Brad have the Southampton manager?
I actually mentioned him, didn't I, Chris? When you brought up the topic, I said maybe, Hasselholt. No, because these managers, I'm not going to sit here and say that Southampton aren't a big club or they're not in the level of us, because it's not my position to do so. Southampton are a good club. They're a very well-established Premier League side. But as a manager, you maybe look up and go, that's a project I can buy into. You know, remember O'Neill in the 90s, he took Leicester as far as he could. That was his exact words. And he went to Celtic. He wanted to go to Celtic. He'd always wanted to manage them.
His club, yeah.
So, maybe Ralph, he won't have that efficiency with Leicester, but now he's established himself as a Premier League manager. He maybe feels, have I done all I can at Southampton? If Leicester are, and he probably won't think that until it becomes available or when it becomes available, but he might look at Leicester and think, I'd like my name to be considered for that job. I would be happy with Ralph at the house, the right Ralph anyway. Casey Keller was my favourite goalkeeper.
Yeah, when he was good.
Brilliant. My idol, mate.
Yeah,
he's the reason I actually got comfortable at school when I used to get, as you can imagine, verbally bullied for wearing glasses, and I used to not wear them at school. And I actually got to meet him, and he's my idol. He's been my favourite Leicester goalkeeper ever since. With the greatest respect,
he was a good goalkeeper, and I think we got him quite in his prime. It was quite, we were getting players like Pressman and Kirkland at the back end of the career, and he came in and he was a great goalkeeper. I do rate him highly. But just going back to Ralph, for me, and I think as a manager, when your team loses 9-0,
twice,
but the first time to keep them still mid-table. And when they go back the next season and do exactly the same, whether they're down to 10 men or not, but to lose 9-0 again the following season and still keep them in the position where they are at the moment, he's got something about him.
Yeah, definitely.
And he has. Luke, good evening. How the devil are you, sir? Thanks for joining us. So I'm going to stop with me for this moment because I'm just going to ask you to do this if you haven't done it already, and then I've got some news about what is coming up later.
Watch us on YouTube.
Listen on your favourite podcast platform,
or ask your smart speaker
to play the podcast Leicester Till I Die.
Subscribe, like, follow, and join in now.
Please do. Please join in and subscribe. It all helps the channel. We are slowly growing. 9 o'clock, I'm back. Sloppy seconds with this. The big fat football quiz. 9 o'clock tonight. Mike, who's in the chat, and Reese are going up against each other. Two extremely knowledgeable football gentlemen. They know their stuff. Mike, you might have seen it. He knows everything about the EFL. It's just a shame there's no EFL questions in. And I know, but having said that, I don't think your football knowledge, guys, will actually do you any good tonight. 4 sections. I know where you live. And not that I don't know where Mike lives, because that would probably make me a bit of a dodgy character. Dead or alive. I often wake up in the morning, look at myself in the mirror and wonder that. Is that a trophy in your pocket, or are you just pleased to see me? And then what did you just call me? So those are the four sections tonight. Do you ever watch 3-2-1, Brad? Do you remember that? Was that before you?
Probably before my time, mate. I hope Reach has got a category on shirt sponsors because I know how much he loves them.
He does. Who knows? Well, if you ever want, go back and Google, and I'm sure the likes of Terry and Anthony, the 3-2-1 with I can't even remember that, but they had Dusty Bin, and the clues were so convoluted that you could never guess what the prize was. So these read clue out to you, and then you had to get, say yes or no whether you wanted the prize. And it was so difficult. So that's where I got the idea for all these names from. Nuno is available, but I'd rather keep Rodgers. I'd probably agree with you there.
Well, we'd sell off our squad and get Portugal in if we got Nuno in. So
yes, yeah. Best of luck to Reese if you're watching. Oh, and he also said well done to the other guy as well. Just going back to Ralph, I mean, I know you've not been the biggest fan of this guy, but I'm just wondering if, and I noticed you're off camera for this, so you might want to stay off camera. But are you now a supporter of Mr. Potter?
Well, look, there's still half a season to go, but he's still proving that he maybe, deserves credit where credit's due. He's doing a good job at Brighton, but I will still stand by the statement that I've made, and I've been asked this question, funny enough, and it's got no coincidence with certain changes in my life. I keep getting asked
No. I just asked this because I've got you on screen,
Yeah, but to be perfectly honest with you, I kind of feel like Potter's in the same situation that we were as fans at Leicester, and that is maybe he needs to be left alone to do his job at Brighton. This is his first. Yes, he's got them settled, but what do we always say when a new club gets settled into the Premiership and they've survived a few seasons? They then need to build on it, and any manager and player then gets a chance to, to prove their worth at this division, being more than just a survivalist specialist. And this season seems to be working out for Brighton in that fact. They're ahead of us in the league. They were unlucky despite being down to 10 men last night against Manchester United, but maybe instead of trying to pick on the little guys, as we assume, Graham Potter should be allowed to do his job at Brighton and prove his worth.
Thinks you're mellowing a little bit there, Mr. Brad. But I do get this feeling that you yes, I'm sorry, but I think you're mellowing towards Mr. Potter for some reason. But then again, he's obviously, as the season goes on and he carries on, keeping them where they are at the top half of the table, of course, you would, obviously get everybody's admiration, wouldn't he, really? But,
yeah.
We will leave it at that. We will leave it at that. Brad, because you'd probably kill me in a minute if I carried on. I'll let you go and get a nice cup of tea. So
don't swear at me with tea.
Oh, you're going to get me back one day, aren't you? You really are.
Oh, I really am.
Really are,
I'm going to remember my generosity in the league and take that bonus point if you beat me to it by a point.
I'd take that over you giving me a beating for what I'm winding you up about at the moment. But,
no worries, mate.
As you know, I'm really happy for you. Thank you so much for tonight. I will see you, I think it's about 10:30ish tomorrow night. And I just hope we're not talking about a defeat, because I don't know what I'd have to say. But thank you for joining us, and we'll see you later. Cheers, Brad. Thanks very much, mate. Take care.
No worries, mate. See you later. Bye.
Cheers. Thanks to Brad there. As always, knows his stuff. A great, great man. Thank him for all he does for the channel. He was there right at the start when we started out, and he's been with me on this long and arduous journey. So, come back, like I say, 9 o'clock for the Big Fat Football Quiz 2, because there's a different sort of quiz. I'm really looking forward to it. I know you shouldn't laugh at your own jokes, but I did a run through with Dan from Turf Morales TV the other day. We were literally in tears. Mike, really don't even start looking about Newport's history or anything like that. I don't think you'll find it will help you an awful lot. Having said that, I don't think you find Man United history will help you an awful lot tonight. Guys, thanks very much for watching. If you're listening on a podcast, thank you very much for doing that. The podcast is going from strength to strength. I will see you back here at 9 o'clock with the Big Fat Football Quiz 2. Thanks for everything, guys. Thanks for watching, listening, and all that you do and supporting us. And I'll see you in just under an hour. Good night now.
Leicester Till I Die podcasts on the Apple iTunes, Spotify, Google, Anchor, and all podcast platforms.
The Leicester Till I Die shop is now open.
For all your Leicester Till I Die merchandise,
Visit the Leicester Till I Die shop at our website. Thanks for watching Leicester Till I Die. This is Chris saying goodbye and see you next time.
That's all, folks.
Some people are on the pitch, they think it's all over. It is now.